What's up everyone, Alex here. In this video, I want to give you my impressions of the Tales of Arise demo that's releasing very soon. Along with that, I also want to answer the many questions that you posted in the community tab regarding this game, so thank you very much for posting them. But before anything else, I want to thank Bandai Namco for providing me early access to the PS5 version of this demo. I'm pretty sure the biggest thing that you guys want me to cover is the battle system, and that's obviously something that I find important about the game as well. First of all, battles are triggered similarly to previous Tales game. You basically just run up to an enemy, and it takes you to a different battlefield that's cordoned off at the edges. Sounds familiar, right? Once in combat, the R1 button will serve as your normal combo attack, while the X, square, and triangle buttons are mapped to your arts. Much like previous Trails games, arts cost a resource, and you can earn back this resource simply by attacking with your normal combo attack. You'll also have the ability to jump and dodge, though Kisara will block with her shield once you press the dodge button. While you're only able to control one character at a time, you can use the D-pad to command certain party members to unleash attacks on your current target, which includes any characters who aren't currently in your party. You can optionally change your current controlled character by holding down the L1 button, then pressing the corresponding D-pad button to select a new character to control. Occasionally, you'll also encounter a strike prompt that you can activate by pressing the D-pad, which will trigger combination attacks from your party members. These deal massive amounts of damage to your target, and just feels really good and satisfying. Overall, I found that the combat to be less conducive to button mashing and more enjoyable as a result. You'll also be asked to read your enemy's movements in order to dodge and evade their attacks properly, while still maintaining your unrelenting assault via your normal attacks and arts. This more deliberate pacing is properly reflected by Kisara's combat design, which allows the character to hold her ground while delivering some powerful attacks as a result. Outside of Kisara, I felt that every party member plays differently from one another, and I highly recommend playing as all of the characters in the demo to get a proper feel for the combat. And if you're curious about my favorite of the bunch, it's a tie between Alphen and Kisara. As an addendum, I do want to point out that due to the size of certain monsters, you'll be utilizing the right analog stick a lot to orient the camera in such a way that you can see the action properly, so be ready for that. One gripe that I have about combat may be contentious, but the constant grunts, yells, and special move shouts layering on top of each other can get annoying over time and can serve as a distraction from enjoying the action. Unfortunately, there's no option in the demo to lessen the amount of combat chatter, nor is there a way to disable it altogether, so I'm hoping that this is something that can be controlled somehow in the full game. As far as the presentation goes, the world has this painterly style that helps create a unique motif for Arise, and this really helps separate it from the previous games. But I have to be clear that just based off of the demo alone, it's not quite an open world game, and you're not going to be falling off cliffs, and you'll still encounter invisible walls and tall areas that you can't climb, but the environments feel more lush and vibrant than any Tales game before, complete with explorable areas that hide treasure. With regards to the characters, they look fantastic. They're super highly detailed and they're well animated, and the combination of this rich environment with these highly detailed rendered characters really make Tales of Arise feel like the next evolution in the series. With regards to the UI, I do find it very interesting that the presentation is very contemporary, it's very clean, it's very modern. For example, after battle, all the experience totals are shown on the left side of the screen, while during battle, all of the meta information that you're going to need is going to be displayed on the right side of the screen. And I actually really found it very useful to just be able to look at one side of the screen and find all the information I need when it came to HP, what arts I have equipped, and the like. When encountering cutscenes while you're in the game world, at least in the demo, they're not voiced, unfortunately, which is a little bit disappointing given that there might be some expectations from certain people that because of how rich the game looks right now, there could be an expectation that the whole game is voiced, and I can definitely empathize with that kind of expectation. That being said though, the new skits in the game are fantastic. And at first glance, it looks like it uses the similar technology that Scarlet Nexus had with its cutscenes, but it's quite different. How Scarlet Nexus uses this technology, they would establish a scene and render all the characters and use talking heads to represent the people talking. However, Arise takes the approach of rendering the characters in the style of a comic book, which takes these skits to the next level. Personally, I've been a fan of skits in the Tales series as they allow me to take in character development at my own pace, and improving the presentation alone really makes these moments feel more special than what it originally was in previous games. And much like in older Tales games, skits are fully voice acted, and the demo does include both English and Japanese voices. One thing about the demo: if you're the type of person that tries to avoid story and character spoilers prior to playing a game, then you're absolutely in luck, as there's really little info to go by in this vertical slice. The skits even really just talk about the character's abilities during battle, with very minor context. Needless to say, if you're curious about Tales of Arise, you can rest assured that you can play the demo without worrying about encountering spoilers for the full game. All in all, I highly recommend checking out the demo for Tales of Arise, especially if you want to check out the new combat, and it'll be coming out on August 18th for consoles. None of the progress carries over to the full game, however, but you can unlock new trailers by selecting different characters at the beginning to start with. Either way, I'm super excited for you all to check this demo out, and let me know what you think of it once you've finally gotten to play it in the comments below. And of course, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.